Good morning. Good morning. Same time, same place. I guess it was 12 hours and 50 minutes later. Welcome to everybody Thursday morning here at the Innovators Think Tank Ideas to Impact Week 5, recapping, redoing, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, making the thing work. I think that's the sole goal for this morning. Alisher is firing up the screens behind the scenes, I'm sure, making sure that we have a live stream hot, ready to hit the ground running. Cash Money Kev has had a wonderful night's sleep, I'm sure. We're all crispy around the edges, and rearing to go, getting our live streaming services up and running. Um, it's funny. I was doing an interview early this morning, and um, I got to just brag on all of you, unbeknownst to you. When people ask me questions behind the scenes, what you think of this and that, especially if you've been, you know, I've worn many hats, put it that way, but I could feel my face just, when you start to smile and your cheeks hurt. I am so insanely proud of of you all. Um, this is obviously the sixth season. That's well over on our way into a whole year of really online, in terms of classwork and the building of awesome. And I think the world is taking notice a little bit on how many people are choosing to hack their own education and the various venues that they do so. Ross mentioned last night, you know, it's important to have your cPanel hooked up in the AI mastery ecosystem. It's important because we become a signal flare to a lot of big companies that there are indeed other ways to learn, but more so other ways to prove your core competencies and that extend beyond your traditional credentialing kind of system. So the barrier to entry to, let's say, an Ivy League school is really high, right? Some people just can't afford it. They're not going to get in. However, you can actually educate yourself using all of MIT's online free courses and become very well educated and competent. And you're showing people by the things that you're building that, hey, I actually can do the thing. And that's pretty spectacular because there's a lot more to be said doing the thing than having a piece of paper that says you sat in a bunch of classes and jumped through the appropriate hoops, right? I just think that is so cool to see you all succeed. And, the fact that you're here this morning, um, it shows your resolve, your tenacity, your determination, and your willingness to go the extra mile. And if no one else in your world is recognizing it, I am. And people are outside of our little silo here. You're doing awesome things, and you really are in a small act of rebellion by showing up. Um, Laying the foundations for future dwellers. They're going to follow in your path, and they're going to follow this mode of education. And yeah, I just think that's really, really cool. At any rate, as always, we're going to save the spots in our speaker panel for our students. This is the down and dirty, folks. It's 1 hour or around it. We're going to get it done, got it did. And then you're going to go off on the rest of your day, kind of, knowing that you've accomplished something. Your Friday is going to be crazy amazing. And you'll probably sit in on Sharon and Alish's class there as well. Cash Money Kev, I'm going to test your mic, and then we're going to hit the ground running. I think Alisher is almost up and running. I'm looking up at top. There is the link for the AI mastery. Alisher will probably go over that too, just to make sure that we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's and not losing our work. That's the most important part. But Cash Money Kev, how are you this morning? Are you a little crispy around the corners, my friend?
I am all good, Sarah. I don't know about crispy around the edges, but I'm feeling pretty good and energized and ready to rock and roll. I see that the stream is up and Alisher has got that rocking and rolling. Just a couple opening notes from you guys. Be sure to hit that reminder for ITT number 81 on Saturday, as well as AI Builders that's happening tomorrow with Sharon and Alisher. They're gonna be building some awesome applications utilizing AI. You can also, learn how to, up your tool set, just like you're doing here in the Ideas Impact series in AI Builders. Also, be sure to make sure your profile is set up on the ITT website. Have the little check box filled in so you can connect with others on the website and look for a team. If you're looking to join forces and assemble, the Ideas to Impact Avengers for your new streaming service and team up with another, student, you can find your fellow students there if they're, looking for other fellow teammates or to collaborate with. Also, keep an eye out the next season because I'm pretty sure next week will be the final week of season 6. Keep an eye out for season 7's course that will be available soon in the courses section on the ITT website as well. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Alisher because I see the stream's up and running, and I know we got a lot to get through. We did a lot last night, and I'm proud of all the students that hung on in there and got a lot done. Alisher, how are you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm just checking out some of these templates that you guys can also use, actually. If you guys haven't heard of V0, definitely check it out for when you're building your pages. They have some cool designs. Let's see. So yesterday we spoke a little bit about editing your pages, right? You guys changed your pages to look a little bit better, have some sort of a landing page. And then we also spoke about adding Stripe. So you have a repo from Ross from yesterday, so you could always launch that and get that started. And also, you can try to integrate Stripe on your own. So let's see what we have here. Right. So if you have this this repository from Ross, has everybody been invited to it? That's the first question from yesterday. See one thumbs up. Anybody else?
Jack, you have a thumbs up too. You did get invite yesterday. You were in podcast mode. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I pulled up to the house like right as he was saying that. So I ran to my computer and messaged him, and I did get the invite, but I don't know how. So I forked it, which I think is what I'm supposed to do, but I don't know what I do with it after that.
Okay, so if you forked it, that's fine. I can fork it as well on my account. Forking is essentially creating a copy in your account. And once you do that, you can reopen it, do whatever you want to that piece of code, edit it without affecting the original. But it's still connected, so you can get the updates. So that's a good practice.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, very similar to what you already have, with just a few small changes. So if we launch this up and we'll take a look at it, I'm going to launch this just like any other app. It's good practice too. If you guys are relaunching this and you want to play around with the Stripe integration, you're going to click Open in GitHub Desktop and you're going to clone this. And what's cool about GitHub is later, if you have your version and you want to combine these two, you can merge and determine which version you want and what features you want from which version. So whenever you're copying, you want to make sure you're copying for your own purposes. And then that way, whenever you push, it goes to your project instead of the original. And from here, typically, let me get my env first. From here, you can just open it in VS Code. And if this is a fresh repo, fresh repository that you just got from GitHub, you're going to need to run those commands to install it. Right, so npm install. And what you can do is you can just copy the environment variables, the .env file, from the previous project, from the one that we worked on before.
So for me, I am. Turns out I didn't have GitHub Desktop on my computer, so I'm installing it right now.
Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
recommend GitHub Desktop. It'll make it easier to manage all of these variables and or to manage all these repos. Otherwise, you have to rely on command line and get commands, and it gets a little messy.
Yeah, I see that already. Yeah, it shows me
Okay.
workflows and
Should this code be going into the front end or into the back end?
What do you mean the front end or the back end?
I've got two things of CVS code. One is for the front end of the website, what you look at, and the other is the database that has the that has the where the hosting of the, or I guess it's not the hosting, but it's where I put in.
This project is a completely new project that Ross gave you. That's a variation of the Netflix project,
Okay.
right? So you're opening this just like your Netflix project. You're typing in npm install. There is like no back end, front end. It's all
Okay.
front end because it's all Next.js. There is no back end for Next.js. It's all
Okay.
front.
hey, Alisher, is this the I don't know, Shad CN dashboard starter? Is that the right one?
No, it is not. It is off Netflix Stripe UI.
Off Netflix Stripe UI. Let's see if I can find this.
You should have gotten an invite in GitHub. If you didn't,
I did.
what I recommend you do is you go to Slack, and in Slack, give me your GitHub username so I can invite you.
Yep. Okay. Where?
It's a project that'll look exactly like your Netflix project, with a few small additions that are for Stripe.
There you are. I'm gonna message you right now. Oh, whoops! I'm saying the wrong one. Sorry. Hang on. There you go. The second email address.
Now, you're also going to need some extra variables, right? Last night, I'm looking at Slack for season 6. If you guys look at these environment variables that Roz gives you, there are a few extra ones there specifically for Stripe. You guys see Stripe secret key, Stripe price ID, next public Stripe publishable
Silence, be
key.
quiet.
So these are the 3 Stripe variables you need to add on in the env to what you already have there.
Alisher, can you repeat that, please? Sorry.
Yeah, if you go to Slack, you're going to see 3 extra variables that you need to add to your env: Stripe secret key, Stripe price ID, and next public Stripe publishable key.
I see it. Okay. I am in GitHub through my web browser, and I do see the auth Netflix Stripe UI. From
Can you
Ross.
repeat that question? Sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat your question?
I was just letting you know that through the browser version of GitHub, I can see auth Netflix Stripe UI is already there.
Okay. So what you need to do is you need to open that in your computer. Can't really do anything when it's in GitHub.com. Can't really run it when on your local machine if it's in GitHub.com.
So through
That's why you
GitHub
need
Desktop,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I just need to open the right one, basically. So why didn't it find it? So there's new repository, clone repository.
From GitHub.com, you can go and open the project. There is a button, green button that says code. This
Yep.
is this is from week 1. So if
Yeah.
you want to
Yep.
later on go
Yep.
back and maybe rewatch week 1,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, there's an open with GitHub desktop button in there.
I got it. Yep. He's cloning it right now locally.
And now let's see. I need to restart,
Yeah, I
and
guess I
we'll see
just
what Russ
didn't have
had
this.
last night because I looked over his shoulder last night. It was there. So we'll see what it looks like.
I don't know how I was doing all this without GitHub desktop. I guess I was force feeding my computer.
So when I did npm run dev, it says your project has next/front installed as a dependency. Please use the built-in next font instead of the @next font package. We'll remove the next.js14. You can migrate by running. Should I throw that into my AI tutor and ask him what's going on?
Do any of that.
What's that?
You don't need to do any of that. You just need to do what the instructions tell you, which is open it, run npm install, run npm run dev. That's all you need to do. Nice. So this looks about right. Looks like the project you guys were working on yesterday. Seems like I can sign up. Now let's see what we have in pricing. So since this uses what's called pages router, all of your pages are individual files that are named the page name. So if you wanted to go to about, you go to /about. If you wanted to go to pricing, you go to /pricing. And index is always your first page. And you guys see here in pricing, you can actually modify this component if you want to, make it look different. We have the price, which if you want different price, you would change. It's just some front end code. And you have some functions here that we need to set up. And we need to get up to speed with last night. So let's see what we need. Remember, in the env, we need these 3 extra variables. We need Stripe secret key, Stripe price ID, and next public Stripe publishable key. This will make your Stripe work when you connect these variables. Anybody else needs to be invited to this repo, to this repository? These are all the names I see in here. So you know, see yourself in here. Make sure you drop your GitHub username in Stripe. I mean, in the Slack here, so I can invite you guys while I'm on this page. Okay, everybody else has it. Then we'll move on. We'll start setting up Stripe. All right, so I'm gonna log into my Stripe. Make sure you guys all have a Stripe account. You can make a new one. We'll use the test keys. Just as long as you have some sort of a Stripe account with some keys. So here I have my test Stripe. When you guys log in, you know it's test mode when there's this orange bar at the top. And with Stripe, the first two keys you'll need, they're here on the front page. It's the publishable key and the secret key.
Hey,
So
Alisher,
Yeah.
the stream is, or Kev, I'm not, where's this, is the stream being launched from the ITT website?
The stream is currently down on the website. We're getting it fixed on our back end right now. But if you could just click on the
Okay.
Twitch, it'll go straight to the TSI org's Twitch. And if you're watching from a PC, it'll be right there for
Yeah. Twitch, gotcha. Oh yeah, okay. There we go.
you. It's currently an X API bug issue, I think, but we're gonna sort it out.
Gotcha.
I updated on the ITT website. It's on the ITT website. I guess when you make the event, for the channel or Twitch channel, you don't need to put the @ symbol, and that connects to the Twitch. So you can go back to the ITT website. It's there now. It's also here in the Jumbotron first thing. But yeah, I'll stay on this page for a minute. What we care about is these 4 developer 2 keys for now. And then we're gonna go and make a product. We can start copying over these keys. So the secret key is gonna correspond to Stripe's secret key in your env file. And the publishable key will correspond to next public Stripe publishable key. And you know the difference between this because the secret key starts with SK and publishable key starts with PK. That's how you know the difference between the two. They're right here on the front page. In this for developers section. And again, make sure you're in test mode because we're testing it out. We don't need to be live yet. We don't need to be accepting live payments yet. And then going live is easy. Just flipping that switch, changing the keys. That's how you go live. So was everybody able to get the publishable key and the secret key?
I'm not quite there yet.
Not yet. I'd have to do just a minute. I'm working on it.
Yeah, Alistair, I had a password issue with Stripe, so I'm just fixing it right now.
Once you guys set up those two keys, you need to make a product in Stripe in product catalog. When you're making a product, this is essentially your subscription tiers. So if let's say you had a different platform where you had several tiers, you would make 3 different products. So for us, I'll just make the one. We'll call it a Netflix subscription. It is recurring, it is monthly, and then you say your monthly price.
To jump in real quick, just to make sure, um, we mentioned it last night, and it's super important, folks. Do not frack up your Stripe account, because once it gets taken away or it gets, red carded, if you mess up that, it's very hard to get it back. So, take your time when you're doing stuff like this and really safeguard everything around your Stripe account, all of your secret passwords, all of that stuff. I mean, the rest of this thing, these things can be recoverable, but trying to create a new Stripe account because of the regulations, depending on where you live and things like that, your identifiers, your bank account, all of that stuff, can be an absolute nightmare. So just be aware of that when you're working on this, specific step. Just really safeguard your Stripe account because they're really picky, and you want to make sure that. You know. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Alisher.
Yeah, I would say I think I noticed recently if you're like a sole proprietorship, right? If you don't have an LLC or anything, it's pretty easy to just keep creating new Stripe accounts. They don't have a lot of verification in place if you aren't a real business, if you're just accepting
True.
payments.
True.
So for testing purposes, for just I guess just starting out, playing around, um, you don't need to be too worried. Like it's okay if you suddenly turn off your Stripe, right? It's okay if they turn off your Stripe and you go in and re-enable it. Sometimes after a period of inactivity, they might like unverify you. That happens because then they just need to reconfirm your info. But if you're just like a solopreneur, you're not an LLC, you'll be verified instantly.
That is true. That is true.
It's just an LLC company. If you're signing up as like a real business, you're putting in your EIN. That's when they're verifying you. That's when they're actually asking for your social security number, because then they're tying the business to you, right, through whatever verification records that they have. That's why I recommend first, if you're just starting out, verify it for your personal reasons, right? It'll take you minutes. You just go through the questionnaire. By the end of the questionnaire, you'll be verified and you'll be able to accept payments. And then, when you're ready, you can make that transition into having an LLC connected to the Stripe. But purely for accepting payments and then having payouts, you don't really need to get verified. You can tie it up for tax reasons later on, through bookmaking and whatnot, and book balancing. And Stripe allows you under one email to create several accounts. So, for example, if I add this product, I have all sorts of accounts. I have an account for every season. Every season, I make a new account. So I start out with a fresh stripe, so you guys can see what it looks like starting out fresh. But you guys can see I have me and Sharon have a stripe where we collaborate on our stuff. I have the TSI stripe. I have test stripe from Erica, if you guys remember Erica. Here's example from season 1 that we're building. There's season 4. There's the transcription that me and Sharon were building. So I pretty much every new little product that I make a fresh stripe. And that way, if let's say you have your Netflix platform, you have a separate stripe for it versus your next platform, versus your physical products that you sell, right? So you can have a fresh stripe for every new venture that you start. That's the best course of action, because what will happen if you don't have separate stripes is that they start to get mixed, right? If you guys have ever gone to, let's say, Upgrade AI Tutor, you'll notice that when you're upgrading AI Tutor, you also see Pixio subscriptions in there. So that's what happens when you mix two products together in one stripe. Is in the customer portal, they start to get mixed up a little bit. You only get one customer portal per stripe store. So when you have separate Stripe account, separate Stripe stores for everything, you get nice, clean, separate customer portals where your customers can log in and manage everything.
That's the key right there, is to keep them all separated. It's the same with, good desktop management. But yes, Alisher, you're absolutely. I'm clipping this section because it's really important.
It's telling me that I've got to make a new account, and so I don't have it. I'm just going to do it under my name, and that should be a problem, right?
Well, do you have you had a Stripe account before?
I mean, this is through my current account, but it's I haven't been, it's been dormant for a long time, so I haven't been using it for a while. And so the information that was on it is currently that it's
Yeah,
kind
but
of
we don't care about the information that's on there. We care about the test mode. You don't need to put in any sort of information to get to test mode. You get to test mode pretty much just by signing up for Stripe. So you can still use it. You just need to flip the test mode switch.
I've gone down the rabbit hole where it said, open it. It said to start a new thing, so I just did it. I'm almost done. I gotta freaking sign up my bank account. Okay.
You don't. This is what I'm telling you. You don't have to do that.
I know, but I don't want to mess up my thing with Stripe. It said to open a new account, and so I'm in the middle of it. So I just got to finish it.
You can just backtrack. You don't need to open a new account. You don't need to connect your payment info. Payment info should be the last thing you're connecting. You're not accepting payments yet, right? We want to test it.
All right.
Just because it tells you to click somewhere doesn't mean you need to go and do that.
Okay.
Jack has a question real quick too.
Thanks. Just a quick question on I'll find it again. Where'd it go? Sorry, I'm losing my voice. The environment variable Stripe price ID. I missed that one. Where do we get that from?
So that's where I was on to next. You're going to go to product catalog at Stripe. You're going to make a product. It's going to be a monthly subscription.
Did that.
And then you go to that product and you're going to see that it has one price, right, under pricing. And then when you hover over that price, you can go to the 3 dots, the options, and copy price ID.
So I have copy to live mode, copy your test product and make it available in live mode. Is that?
No.
So I have edit.
You want to switch back to test mode? This is all happening in mode. Um,
I am in test mode.
okay. Click on the product. And then in product, you have pricing.
Oh, I gotcha. I had to drill into it. I gotcha. Okay.
And then you
Uh,
can click on the pricing. You can find the pricing ID in the top right corner. It'll have a little clipboard next to it. It'll start with price underscore.
yep. Got it. And then copy that in my environment variable.
Yeah, that is the price ID environment variable.
Done.
And now let's see, do I need to give this a restart? Maybe. I'm going to give it a restart in my terminal just in case. And then we'll see if it
Is there a
opens up.
command? Is there a
What's up?
command for that, Alistair? To restart?
So if you go to the easiest way is you can close terminal and reopen terminal and then run npm run dev again, or in
Okay.
terminal, click Control C and then confirm with Y and then start again.
So terminate the batch job. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically you don't need it, but just to have a clean connection.
Yeah, gotcha.
Typically the way Mongo works is it connects on start. And there you go, guys. So you know it connects to Stripe in a proper way because when you click subscribe on the pricing page, you have your product right here, Netflix subscription. That's what I created. It's in my store, SaaS test mode. It's $10, which is the price that I set. And here's the payment part. Now let's go back for a second. Let's see what's how this template works. So what I like to do is I like to have the network tab open. Always good to see what requests are coming in and out whenever you're going through this payment process. So that way it'll help you understand. You can dump these network logs into AI Tutor if you want to understand it a little bit better. But let's see, I'm going to go to subscribe. So the biggest thing that happens when you do subscribe is it creates a session, creates a checkout session, as you can see. And then you can check out. You can try a test checkout. The card information is 424242. That's the Stripe test card. So don't put that real card information. Put in this Stripe test card. The rest of the things don't really matter. Just as long as, let's say, like the expiration date is set in the future. Security code doesn't really matter. It could be anything. Zip code could be anything as well. Name, none of that really matters. Just those recurring 4242 numbers for the card. That's how you test the payment.
So I'm not going to set everybody back here, but I'm missing something major, which is the subscription portion of the site. And I'm not sure when.
And here redirects, but I think that's the integration that you guys did not finish building yet yesterday.
No, we didn't.
So that's going to
No,
be the
they
next
did,
step.
yeah, but I was I was on the on the road, so I couldn't do it. So
Now, let's
I
see. I'm going to
can.
open this up. I'm going to throw the links to StreamYard so we can go through some of your people's issues. And let's see. You had a question? Because we have about 20 minutes so we can go through some of these issues that you guys are having if you are stuck somewhere. And if you want to check if your Stripe payment worked, you can actually go back to your Stripe and go to transactions. And there you'll see subscription created. Okay, now, yeah, John, do you still have an issue with Stripe? If you want, just join StreamYard. We'll take a look at what's going on with your Stripe, and we'll set it up for you.
Okay, all right. I'll do that. Okay. Thank you.
So, Alistair, I got a quick question. So when I was on the road yesterday, you guys were using essentially AI Tutor, copying and pasting screenshots in to develop the code necessary to create the links to creating a subscription page, changing the graphics, doing all those things.
Yeah.
So in theory, I could do that same thing.
Yeah.
The back end is connected through the environment variable, which I have. I've got Stripe, I've got the project. I can run those tests. But what I need to do is build that front end to be able to create the subscription page where they can actually do that, right?
Yeah. So you essentially
Okay.
need that either edit your front page or create a new page or do something where there is a pricing component.
Okay.
You can check out V0. This is a good place to check out this website, v0.dev. They have a community now
Okay.
here where you can see all sorts of different pages, blogs, projects in Next.js that you can pretty much import with like one command. And they have pricing components too. Pricing components, probably one of the most common components you can find.
There were a couple other repositories that you guys mentioned last night or other tools that I couldn't quite hear because I was in the car, but something like this was one of them.
Easy. If you have AI Tutor, you can go check out Bolt. Which one? Yeah, so you can go check out Bolt, and you can ask Bolt to make you something.
Or artifacts and
Okay.
Or artifacts. Yeah, you can enable artifacts and multibot. They'll make you a pricing component as well. Let's say maybe you want a successful transaction. Here's a successful transaction animation.
The cool thing is you could just steal this and give it to AI Tutor and say rework it
Yeah.
to my code. It'll adapt it to you.
That's what I'm going to do. Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And then, Alex or Ross, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to try to work through the whole thing first, get the front end functional.
Just message us on Mighty Networks if you have issues. We'll help you out.
Okay. Yep. Because I don't want to hold you guys up today. So keep cranking through. I'll do that on my end.
Yeah, reach out to me and I'll give you a little quick start on how to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see last night what you were doing. It was just on my little phone screen in the car, and I could kind of see what you were doing with AI Tutor running next to the code, feeding it the screenshots, and then working back and forth to build it. So, I get that concept and can do that.
Yep.
And it seems to, the Stripe connection and my previous Stripe account still work. So, I think I'm okay there.
What comes to mind has a question for you, Alisher.
Hi, I have a quick question. I see the VODev, and I see that also yesterday Hugging Face came out with something. Is that a good one to play with, like their new thing?
That was the other one.
I would say stick to the big names if you're coding with something. Stick to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Gemini 2.0 Pro, and GPT 03 Mini if you have the AI Tutor.
O3 Mini is really good at this stuff.
I meant like Hugging Face came out with something where you can add like certain features, like their new app thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? And it's
Yeah, but we're not really using Hugging Face in this
oh, okay,
project.
okay,
It's not really going to be helpful for us.
okay, gotcha.
Maybe in the future we'll do a Hugging Face build and we would use it. The problem with Hugging Face is when it turns on, you pay by the second.
intents and purposes were unattainable. You know, you had to pay someone the big bucks if you had this idea. The tools were not at our fingertips until recent times. And now that that has been unleashed and the democratization of tools, and AI, the mechanical advantage that it gives you, has been kind of put out in the wild, it's really enabling ordinary folks to do extraordinary things. And so I hope you're all proud of yourself. And I hope that today treats you kindly, that you have a reason to smile, and that you kind of sit back in your chair for a sec, take a deep breath, and say, yeah, I did something cool. Because, like I said before, humans really do make cool things. And it usually just involves parking your tail end in the chair and doing the hard work. And you have all done that. You've done that for 5 weeks. You have one more week to bring it all together and show it off to folks, and really truly celebrate in that win. So can't wait to see you guys next week. As always, Saturday is Innovators Think Tank. So you can chime in, you can log in, make sure that you have a profile there, because now you have acquired some significant skills. Show them off a little bit, take them out for a spin. Make sure that you have your profile on innovatorsThinkTank.com. Also, if you do have the time available, please stop in on Saturday. One of our fellow students, Ciro, is going to be doing his 30-second pitch or 60-second pitch. He's going to be pitching the idea that he built. And for those of you that have been attending every season, that's the end game. It's not just, hey, I got something, I copied it, and I'm building it for my own, self edification in some cases.